and welcome to Connor Reviews, where we're going to be doing our first review for our first themed month, That Game Company month. Now, we're going to start off today with the most critically praised game that Game Company has made, and that game, of course, is Journey. Now, for those of you who don't know, Journey is a game where you start out as a hooded figure appear in the middle of a desert. Now, when you start the game, there's only two things that you can see. A little bit in front of you, you notice these two objects sitting a bit of distance away with two things flying off of them. And then, the one thing that you will see throughout this whole game, standing above all else, is this very large, menacing mountain with a big shining light from it. And that's all you see when you first start the game. Well, that and endless desert. Now, I'd like to tell you what the goal of the game is, but I can't. Because the goal is never given. It is never said what the goal of the game is. In fact, there's no hints given when you start the game. And no words are even said throughout the game. You're just thrown in the middle of this desert, seeing this and this ginormous mountain in front of you, and you just go, you start the game. Now, is there a point to this game? Of course there is. There is definitely a point, but the game comes from the perspective of, we don't need to explain it to you. Which is nice. Not a lot of games do this. It's very similar in the way of Metroid Prime, where it doesn't need to explain itself to you. Which is so great. There's so many games these days that tend to over-explain things. Whereas that game company's way of doing things, at least with Journey, is, hey, you know what? We don't need to explain it. You're smart. You can figure it out. And it's not in like a, oh wow, whatever, you can figure it out, dude. Don't be a fucking idiot. It's just like, no, we get you. Don't worry about it. It's easy. You can figure it out. It's relaxing. It's nice. And it challenges you a little bit. Not in the same way of Metroid Prime, as that is the one big difference comparatively of the two games is with Metroid, while the game doesn't explain itself to you, it is incredibly hard to figure out what things are. Whereas in this game, everything is relatively easy. There's no real, oh yeah, that makes sense. That does explain why you'd have to go in that direction. Everything's simple. It's laid out for you, and there's no real particular challenge. Honestly, this game is very, very easy. At least that's what I found. There's no particular area where I was really struggling to figure out what to do. Alright, so the gameplay isn't really that challenging. It's relatively easy. Does that make it bad? Well, again, no. Don't get me wrong, there is a lot of gameplay to this game. It's not one of those games where it's just on rails the whole time where it's constant cutscenes. There is a fair amount of gameplay to it. Hell, there's even certain points where I was having an absolute blast with the gameplay alone. Alright, so I won't explain what the game is actually about, and the gameplay, for the most part, is relatively easy. So, how's the story? Is that good? Well, yes and no. The story itself is very simple, and you've probably seen this story about 1,000 times. But it works in this game. The story isn't overbearing or preaching or just constant information. It's simple. It's there just to kind of get the point across and maybe answer a few questions you might have. Now, granted, if you're a person that likes constant questions and needs constant answers, you may actually hate this game. This game does give you a lot of questions, but never answers most of them. It'll answer very few questions, the bare minimum, leaving you there more to answer the questions yourselves, to guess what you think the actual answers are. And of course, that's part of the point of the game. If you're a kind of person that needs the constant questions, you're not getting the point of the game. The point of the game is not to give you these constant questions. It's to not give you these constant questions with the answers. It's to leave you questioning and wondering and thinking and putting things together in your own mind. Okay, what the fuck? What? You have been rambling on and on throughout this whole review without actually giving us any fucking information. This is a fucking review. Why don't you actually give us some information and explain what the fucking point of this game is? Because it would ruin the game. All it's doing is ruining the review. Look, let me explain. With a game like this, it is so much easier to write a review where I can just go into great details. Trust me, I know, I had quite a hard time writing this review, because a game like this, I can easily explain to you what goes on and what happens and my thoughts on the whole game and break it really down, but that could ruin the game for somebody. We have 8 subscribers! Who cares? I do. Look, yes, we only have 8 subscribers. So, who knows? Maybe no one will ever see this video, maybe somebody will. But the point is, I don't want somebody's experience being ruined the first time they go to play this because they know too much about the game. This is one of those games you should walk in knowing almost nothing about. except for literally what I've told you. The gameplay is good, and then you can walk around in it. It's so much better walking with an open mind and just being completely surprised and taken away from what this game has to offer to you, that I don't want to ruin that experience by breaking down what's going to happen and explaining exactly what the game is going to do. Great, fucking perfect. Let's just ruin our review then, so that we can make sure somebody's game experience isn't ruined. I'm okay with that. Honestly, this is one of those games I want everyone to enjoy this game and to have the same experience I did when walking into this game. It's such a fantastic game, and what's great about it is anybody can play, no matter what kind of gamer you are. Whether you're a strategic gamer, you're just in it for the story, you're a COD player, or even if you're a Minecraft faggot, you can still enjoy this game. Hell, even people that don't play a lot of video games will get quite an enjoyment out of this game. It wouldn't matter whether you're 5 or 95. This game has something in it for you. Anyone will enjoy a game like this. Oh my god! What's the fucking point of the game? That's all we want to know! The point of this game is emotion. Hell, that's the point of this whole studio. When they're creating games, as I said, it's to prove and move around and mess with your emotions. And this game nails it right on the head. Throughout playing this game, I felt happy, I felt sad, I felt joy, I felt anger, I felt genuine fear. There was points in this game where I was absolutely in love and having an absolute blast and falling in love with these games. There was parts of this game where I was literally almost in tears, mostly because I'm an emotional child. But there's even one point where I actually screamed out loud. I got so scared. It's fantastic the way that they're able to move with your emotions like this. The story itself isn't overly complicated, and that's because it would take away from how you're supposed to feel emotionally. They just want the bare minimum so that you're entertained enough and still involved in the story. The gameplay itself isn't super hard, because if it was, it would take you out of it. So they keep it simple so that you can still be pulled around emotionally. And it's got just this great way with all this simpleness, yet glorious emotion. They're managing to just pull you in such a very simple way. Wow, that sounds fucking gay. Well, I'm sorry you feel that way. Now, look, before you write me off as this artistic douchebag, understand, if a game is bad, or a game I think needs to be explained more, then I'll happily do it. Or if it's bad, I'll happily tear it a new asshole. But I can't do it to a game like this. This game has just... I've fallen in love with it. It has become one of my favorite games of all time, and I've only played it twice now, but it's just such a wonderful game, and it shocks me what it has done to me, and it emotionally, just such a glorious game. And I want somebody walking into this game to experience it the way I have, and to fall in love with it the same way that I did. And if I over-explained the game and got into too many details, I would take away that experience from somebody. Whether I have 8 subscribers or not, if I took that experience away from one person, that I would feel awful about it. This is a kind of game you just need to truly walk in and experience for yourself. This game is absolutely wonderful. The way it sucks you in and plays with your emotions is amazing. I've never had an experience like this with a video game before. And the looks, oh my god, I haven't even talked about the looks of this game. It is one of the most beautiful games I have ever seen. And trust me, I know I've got siblings and friends who are literally running the most powerful computers, can really have some beautiful games on it. But this is an older game too. I was playing it on the PlayStation 3, and the graphics still look absolutely amazing. The whole time I was playing it, I kept thinking, my god, what would it look like on the PlayStation 4? What would it look like on a next-gen console? I think it would literally be too beautiful. And I actually found out it is on the PlayStation 4. So when I do get a PlayStation 4, I'm telling you right now, I will be repurchasing this game, because my god, it is just so damn beautiful. An absolutely amazing game with a ridiculously cheap priced game. Truly, it is bullshit how cheap this game is, but it is so worth it. It is absolutely worth your purchase. This is the kind of game I truly think anyone who enjoys video games should play at least once. Hell, it doesn't even matter if you play video games. If you're just a regular person, you should play this game. It is such a glorious game that I think everybody needs to experience at least once. And my god, what a great first game to review here on our That Game Company month. I'm giving this game a 5 out of 5. So what did you think of Journey? Do you think this game is way too overhyped? Do you think I made the right call in not really giving too many details away about this game in the review? Are you hoping that most of my reviews this month aren't as douchey as this review? Whatever you think, let me know in the comments section down below, and I'll see you next time. Do you honestly think all the reviews are going to be like this month? Oh god, no. The next game we're going to be reviewing next week is going to be about a flower. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be tearing into that one.